I recently reviewed the Breathwrk app, and I thought it was amazing. Little did I know, Apple actually has their own app to breathe along to and meditate with the Mindfulness app. How great is it? Well, I decided to try it out for 60 days to see if my stress level will go any lower. I gotta stop the stress-induced heart attack somehow, guys.
For self-improvement, crafts, and fitness games, go ahead and turn on YouTube and watch Jack.
The Mindfulness app is a completely free application developed by our good friends at Apple. It comes pre-installed with pretty much all Apple Watch devices, starting with WatchOS 5 and continuing on to this day. That is a good deal because Breathwrk and some other meditation apps I am using and reviewing cost some money. This review did not cost me a thing to do, which is why I love it so much. Oh man, I'm spending so much money on this YouTube channel. As it is an Apple Watch app, it is incredibly hard for me to actually record it, so you just get to see me breathing in and out in the background, as well as me showing any advertisements I can find from Apple. Capturing watch footage is a pain unless you got like an overhead camera mount like the legendary Marques Brownlee. The Mindfulness app is set up to quickly allow you to add some mindfulness minutes per day. These mindfulness minutes are recorded in the Apple Health application for you to track and review later on. All you need to do as an Apple Watch user is click that green icon on your home screen and select your session. In fact, I can do it right now. Boom. Boom. It's running. I'm not sure if you can see that. There are 2 sessions available. The reflect option gives you a prompt to think about or talk to yourself about in order to give some self-reflection. Here's me going through a full prompt. Day 54, reflect. Take a moment to pause. Recall a recent idea that you had that you liked. Enjoy this feeling of creativity. Ooh. The idea of something that I really liked recently was an idea for an app I was using Todoist and wish there was like some type of reward system. Something where I can like assign a product, be like get McDonald's and have it have points. And then when I complete things on the to-do list, I get points and I can redeem them for that project. This idea could work and expand as it could be used by families as like a rewards chart. It'll help motivate me because I need some reward at the end of the things to realize life. I like the idea of having an item be there for me. I want to pursue this task. Oh, that was it. Wow. Carry this perspective idea. So that was it. And I hope to one day do come up with that app. But yeah, it's a minute and I had 83 heartbeat. Pretty good. And as you can see right now, I have it set to run on breathe. You can kind of see in my watch there. I'm going to turn it off now. Let's go. It's easy to do and set up. The breathing session will have you following a breathing pattern with the watch vibrating, representing to breathe in and out. It also gives this trippy kind of like screensaver thing that's pretty cool to look at. I don't need to show like footage since everything is pretty basic. You literally just saw it. It's like a green thing that goes. You just breathe in and out for whatever duration you set in the settings. Both the reflect and breathing session types are set for a minute by default and can be adjusted for up to 5 minutes through the app. You can do that by clicking the 3 dots in the corner and then adjusting the minutes there. Any more than 5 minutes, you need to do 2 or more sessions. The instructions are also on that page, giving you some tips on how to complete a successful session. As far as I can see, there isn't like any way to kind of like review your history of like the prompts you've done for like the reflect sessions, or like revisit an old prompt or choose your own prompt or anything like that. It's a very simple app, but it works as like a free thing. If you want something a lot more complex, then purchasing a full-on meditation app like Breathwrk is recommended in general, and now by me. Hours a week. It's very taxing. Spending a lot of time trying to cook more healthier meals as well, so the setting you can adjust within the Mindfulness app are very minimum. In the Settings app, you can turn on or off the reminders, turn off the weekly summary report, change the breathing rate, disable like the haptics, which is like that vibrating thing on your wrist, and enable the ability to download new meditations. There isn't really anything to disable like certain categories of reflect, like I don't want to care about anything related to business or, certain things. There's no ability to add your own like reflections or anything like that. There aren't any other settings to adjust like the time past the 5 minutes. It's just an incredibly basic application that does what it needs to do. After all, I have to kind of respect that. In fact, it wasn't until a few WatchOS versions ago that the reflection option was added. So things can and probably will change with it as Apple continues to push out updates for WatchOS. I hope one day it becomes a bit more expanded upon for us power users. One nice thing I will say that this app does is record your heart rate. I wrote down my heart rate every time at the end of each session, and my heart rate varied from 112 beats per minute to about 64 beats per minute. That's a pretty big range. And that big gap has to do with when I did my meditation sessions for the day. Usually I try and do it either before work or before I go to bed as like a sleepy time meditation type thing, but other times I did it right before or after my workout. Taking like a minute to do some calming breathing after going on the stair stepper for a little bit is a great way to try and bring my heart rate down. Because let me be honest, when I'm on that stair stepper, my heart rate jumps to like 175. It's nuts. It is something that I probably should be doing and get in the habit of to kind of help lower my heart rate so it doesn't just go crazy all day. Overall, the heart rate feature is great for tracking and something that I wish more meditation apps should have, and I feel like you can just pair it with the Apple Watch in the developer mode. I'll give it props to Apple as the heart rate history is also visible in the health app for mindfulness. Cheddar, made some cheese sauce from that cheddar, a little bit of Velveeta too. We had a whole bunch of old... Now, I wanted to do an experiment here. I wanted to see if spending a few minutes a day would help reduce my stress from work and just in general life. I began this challenge back on January 22nd, which was a decently busy time for work-wise. As such, my stress level was about a 6 out of 10. I had a lot of projects due then. I was kind of, it was just a very busy time for work. It's not nearly as bad as like it is in the holidays where, I have to get rushed to get all the projects done before the winter break or before end of the year reports are due. But it's still a pretty busy season. From there, I use the Mindfulness app every single day to lower my stress level. By the time I ended this challenge, my stress level was at a 7 according to my writing. By then, I actually had an increased workload and I was preparing to go on vacation, spending like a ton of money, getting all work, getting your ducks in order, cleaning, doing all that stuff. Vacations are supposed to be relaxing, but the time before it isn't. Spending a minute or a few minutes a day of breathing with this thing wasn't nearly as effective as doing a full-on 20-minute session as I could do with a full-on meditation app like Breathwrk. For me, I needed something a little bit more intense, something with a little more box breathing, and maybe something where a coach is talking you through it. Does that mean the Mindfulness app is completely useless and Tim Apple, as people like to call him, needs to get fired? Of course not. It's a great entry-level starter app to get into the groove of different breathing techniques and being more reflective. In this case, it's a perfect beginner-level app with a super clean interface, and it's super easy to use. Best of all, this app is completely free with your Apple Watch. So, might as well use it if it's free. At some point, once you're used to doing breath work and stuff like that, you may want to consider a competitor with more courses, coaches, and maybe like tracking measurements like Breathwrk and other work, which is something I'm going to be reviewing soon. Until then, I recommend everyone use the Mindfulness app to become more centered. And again, it's just a minute a day. You can spend time away from Facebook to relax for a minute. So guys, that's it for today's video on the Mindfulness app. If you like this video, then please give me a big thumbs up. I'm putting my thumbs up to the camera. It's big. Hopefully that didn't mess with my focus. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I put out a new video every single Friday in the area of self-improvement. I am trying to constantly and consistently make myself better physically, mentally, and emotionally. And this channel acts as some sort of like review/overview of that journey through trying out different products and challenges and seeing how that involves and changes me throughout the years. It's kind of like a high-level overview is what I like to think of this. Speaking of, if you have any other challenges or products you want me to review, then please leave them in the comments below. I will do pretty much anything that is legal and stuff that isn't illegal, like statewise. Don't get me in jail. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TrueJackJank. Visit my website at jack-jenkins.com. I post the full script of these videos on that site. Lastly, have a great rest of the day, everyone. Let's improve together.